Hey there, beautiful humans. Welcome to your reading. I was feeling really called to do a general reading. I'm not sure who this is for, but Spirit was just kind of really guiding me to do this reading for you here today. So I do have some channeled messages I got from a scrying session. The first thing I was seeing for you was a petunia flower. These represent love, passion, the desire to spend time with someone. I found that interesting. Is there someone you're wanting to spend time with, or is maybe there's someone in your life that is really wanting to get your attention at this time? Lastly, the petunia talks about perseverance, hope, and it can talk about this need to relieve some stress as well. The next channeled message I was getting for you guys was a blanket fort, or like a blanket tent that you'd build when you were a kid kind of thing. So I kind of took this as maybe this is a childhood memory of yours. You have fond memories building blanket forts or pillow forts, right? Or this might be something that you're currently doing with your children if you have them. So this can kind of talk about this safety that we would feel inside the blanket fort, right? It kind of gives vibes of nostalgia and this kind of inner curiosity and playfulness that we all kind of embodied as children. So this might be a good time to kind of get back in touch with your inner child, build a blanket fort. I feel like I'm going to build a blanket fort today, just saying. All right. Now, the last channeled message I was getting for you guys was a pair of red shoes. They were looked like a pair of high heels to me, but I was kind of getting the vibe of there's no place like home, kind of Dorothy clicking her heels together and going back home. I kind of like that with the blanket fort. I don't know, they seem to fit nicely. The color red can be associated with luck in some cultures, although the color red is associated with many things depending on the culture. If you feel called to look into the symbolism there, no worries. One last thing I was getting about the pair of red shoes is, just a disclaimer, I was raised Protestant, not Catholic, so this is news to me here. But the Pope apparently wears red shoes. They are a symbol of servitude and leadership. That's kind of interesting. But I'm just going to dive right in and pull some cards for you, starting with the Shaman Oracle. And once again, this is just a general message for anyone who needs it. I'm not sure who this is for, so take it how it resonates. Leave the rest for someone else, right? Okay. Moving into the Herbiary Oracle. Beautiful. And we're going to pull one from the Quantum Oracle. After I get these guys out and ready to rock and roll for you, I will be pulling some tarot as well, just to get a more full, complete picture of what we need to know about. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, moving on into the Manga Tarot. Okay, this is really interesting so far. Now, if you guys are curious about your own personal star sign readings, I do have those out for the week ahead. I do have the readings for the full month of January, as well as the full year 2025 ready to rock and roll. So feel free to check those guys out. Now, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. It really does help the channel out. All right, so we're going to dive in. First off, I'm noticing 2 out of our 3 cards of the tarot that we've pulled are major arcana. This seems to be a pretty important message for some of you out there. Diving into the oracle first, we have the Hunter of Conflict showing up. We can see kind of this fight, this chaos is kind of broken out here. This is interesting. I'm wondering what the fight is about. Who are we fighting with? And this is a very fiery, very red in color. Moving into the Herbiary, we are getting Elderberry. This is talking about cyclicality. We've got the mother maiden crone here showing up. And this talks about the seasons here, not just the seasons, but it's like obviously the cycles that we find ourselves in. It's like I get the vibe of kind of like there's something repeating here for some of you guys. I know the cyclicality can talk about like if we're feeling like things are slowing down, knowing and trusting and understanding that things will speed up again and vice versa, right? If we're feeling really overwhelmed, we know that a time of rest is going to be coming up soon for us. So that's something good to keep in mind here. But just with the Hunter of Conflict showing up right before the cyclicality card, followed by this Quantum Oracle talking about events of deception. It looks like a third-party situation here. So I'm wondering, I feel like for some of you guys here, Spirit is really urging you to take a look at your personal relationships, especially in the home life and things like that. Is there repeating cycles that are coming up that kind of cause a lot of conflict, a lot of chaos, a lot of strife for us? Is there someone that is kind of repeatedly showing us their true colors and we're ignoring it? That can be another situation as well for some of you guys out there. But we are going to go ahead and dive in. I find this feels very different. Your oracle readings are pretty intense, for lack of better words, whereas I'm looking at your tarot here and these feel and look overwhelmingly positive. So I am curious to dive right in. We are going to be clarifying the Manga Tarot more thoroughly with my Shadowscapes here. I'm just kind of shuffling them a little bit here before we dive in, but it looks like you are getting the High Priestess to start. This looks fantastic. This talks about your intuition being kind of spot on. So you can trust yourself, you can trust your intuition. You're very wise as well. So this feels and looks really good. Now, this also talks about being divinely protected. Like you are safe at this time, even if you find yourself in a chaotic type of situation where there's a lot of fighting going on, a lot of challenges here, maybe some deceptions. This intuition and this wisdom here, I feel, is really good, especially if there is some shenanigans at play. I feel like you're seeing right through it because it brings you into the Queen of Pentacles. This talks about wealth, health, happiness. This is stunning. Like this is a really fantastic tarot pull here to start. Like it looks like you're in your element. Now, I do feel very called to say that sometimes when we're doing really well, sometimes when we're in our element, this can cause other people to feel envious of the things that we have, or to, some people are just like that, you know, they kind of like wish you unwell, I guess, if, you know, they feel entitled to something that you have worked hard to get, right? It's interesting. We'll move forward though, because you move into the Sun. This talks about success. It talks about prosperity and clarity. I really like this with the High Priestess. I see the moon here at the bottom. We've got the sun and the moon. I feel like you're very balanced here, despite what might be happening around you. And I do want to point out as well, the sun here talks about this curiosity and this happiness. It's a playful energy, kind of like our blanket fort. So I feel like making sure you're bringing joy into the moment, bringing joy into the things that you do, and things like that, I think is going to be really key for you at this time. But we're going to go ahead and dive right in to the clarifications, starting with the High Priestess. Interesting. High Priestess here is confirmed by the moon. The moon is talking about this in-between stage. And this is interesting because the the moon kind of asks us, what cycle are we in? And we're getting the elderberry of cyclicality. Which cycle are you in? Is the moon full? Is it waxing? Is it waning? What's happening? This is really interesting. I'll take one more. Why not? So because you're in this kind of in-between stage, this evolutionary stage with the moon, but I feel good about it because you've got the high priestess kind of backing that up. You're very in tune and you're very discerning at this time. Oh, okay. You're getting the Wheel of Fortune. This looks really good. The Wheel of Fortune is talking about doors opening. It's prosperous. So I feel like whatever journey you're taking here, you might be encouraged with the Moon card to let some things go that aren't serving you at this time, to make some changes, right? I mean, that makes sense. New year, new you, right? But whatever changes you're deciding to act upon, to make changes to, it leads you into a more prosperous time with the Wheel of Fortune. This is very auspicious. All right, okay. So this moves you into the Queen of Pentacles here, where it's kind of carrying forward this prosperity, this happiness, this wealth, this joy. What is the Queen of Pentacles, Spirit? It's confirmed by the Fool. So this could be a new opportunity that you're taking on. Could be a new leap of faith, an opportunity to take a chance on a new beginning here. I really like to see this. This feels exciting and it feels fortunate. Like it feels like you're a lot lighter is kind of what I'm getting. Like, I don't know. I feel like you're just kind of gliding through this time here. We'll take one more, Spirit. What is the Queen of Pentacles? What is the Queen of Pentacles? Ooh, confirmed by the Eight of Wands. It's a flow state. Whatever this new opportunity here is that you're being called to take on, this leap of faith, this new adventure, right? It leads you to the Eight of Wands, which, yeah, it talks about a more joyful kind of time. Things are moving very quickly. It's like a whirlwind serendipity type situation for you. Feels very happy. You're kind of entering into a flow state. The words come to mind of let go and let God. So I really like this. Like you're just sailing through. And it leads you, like I said, into the sun, this curiosity, this joy, this happiness, this prosperity. This whole reading has been overwhelmingly positive and prosperous for you here. Spirit, what is the Sun card? Oh, it's confirmed by the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man talks about this stopping our movement, going inward, and kind of just analyzing the situation, figuring out if we need to make further changes. I feel like you have made a few changes here with the Moon card talking about, this could be you're entering energy, you're entering into this evolutionary phase here. But I see you kind of analyzing it here with the Hanged Man. And it's like, I kind of get the vibe here because the Sun card talks about this joyous energy, this happiness, this prosperity here. And as well as the inner child, this curiosity as well. I feel like you're kind of diving back into this feeling. I feel like you're really analyzing it. Like, how do I carry this forward? How do I bring the sun forward into tomorrow, next week, next month kind of thing? And I feel like for some of you guys, this might be a really good time to analyze your past, things that bring you nostalgia, things that bring you happiness from your childhood, whether it's building blanket forts or finger painting, It's like, I feel like that's going to hold a lot of joy for you as well. looking back on the past and just kind of analyzing it, thinking about it, remembering the things that brought you joy. Now, this is really interesting. The Hanged Man, this going inward, it brings you into the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords talks about ways in which we hold ourselves back. Interesting. There it is. I was wondering where the conflict and deception was coming in. I feel like this is some shadow work that is occurring here, especially with this Sun card as well attached to the Hanged Man, which brings you into the Eight of Swords. It's like you're kind of, I feel like you're kind of doing a deep dive on your past and you're wondering ways in which, yeah, you've gotten in your own way, ways that you have restricted yourself. And I feel like in a lot of cases, this might be because of deception. Maybe people in our past have kind of told us stories and then we perpetuated those stories. We almost carried the story forward with ourselves. And that might be a pattern of behavior for us, right? And this can, in fact, lead us to feel conflicted inside, this internal conflict. And that can also cause conflict with others, especially if they're telling us stories about ourselves that aren't even true, right? We'll get one more, Spirit. Oh, geez. Bottom of the deck, I'm seeing the Sun again. The Sun will come again, right? We'll take one more, Spirit. Confirmed by the Two of Swords. Yeah, you're thinking more clearly about this situation, ways in which you've stepped in your own way, ways in which other people have stepped in your way. It's like, it's not just other people that kind of step on our toes or kind of cause us to doubt ourselves. It's us too, right? We all kind of do that. It's a learning process, right? All right, I'll take one more. I do like this Two of Swords here, this balance, this clarity of mind. It feels like you're kind of seeking out this inner peace. Yeah. And you're looking at ways in which you feel left out in the cold with this Five of Pentacles, the ways in which you feel, I get the word discluded, like, or not included in a situation. Maybe you're feeling ostracized in some ways. You're kind of analyzing that. And looking forward, it brings you to the Four of Wands. So this ability to analyze this situation, being able to analyze the things that cause us pain, that cause us hurt, it allows you to walk through this portal with the Four of Wands, allows you to walk through this doorway. That's what the Four of Wands is. It's a doorway to a more happy time. It's joyous. It's a celebration. It's a harvest. And this feels like something you've worked really hard to achieve here. So this looks really overwhelmingly positive. I just want to say there is maybe some shadow work that needs to be done here about inner conflict, maybe stories we tell ourselves, right? It happens, right? We're all in the same boat here. But I think I'm going to leave it here. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And I think you're going to have a fantastic week. It looks like there's a lot of good things coming your way. All right, take care.